Yeah, I struggled. I had a breakdown in 2015, relapsed in 2016, and if it wasn't for football, probably wouldn't be alive.
My own experience was being a student, having no direction and getting sucked into party lifestyle. My background ended up becoming addiction.
I'm similar. I had a breakdown quite a few years ago, and I must admit I've on occasions struggled through this winter. I've got a slight disability, so it was impossible to try and walk with a crutch. So then you became literally stuck in the four walls. You couldn't get in the garden, it was too cold. So I must admit, there's been periods through December and January where I really did struggle. Everybody has mental health, and we need to stop stigmatising it as being a problem for people.
I seen that we lost a couple of amateur players, and actually I was really worried that we would have lost a lot more, because I know, having spoke to a lot of players, just how hard it's been for people to not be able to go and see a family. Like, some of the guys in my team aren't really from this area, so they've not been able to leave their area to go and see their mums and dads and things like that. And that's a tough thing for young men to have to deal with by themselves. I've got a couple of boys in my team just bought their own flats before COVID, and they had never really lived alone before. So they're in their flats by themselves and can't go and visit their family. So
Amateur football for me gave me structure. As a referee, there's the excitement run about, where's your appointment, where are you going to be travelling to, if you get a tasty game, something that's going to challenge you. You then, like, on your appointment, are standing up in my changing room talking to guys about what your expectations are during the game. And for me, that then brought on a confidence. In the game itself, you build up personal relationships, so the referee's always regarded as the villain, but more often than not that's not the case, because you build up relationships with players, you become familiar, you're looking them in the eye, and then the Saturday night comes and it's a case of, I've done something really productive in my life, and you're ultimately building towards achievement as well. So as the season pans out, you've got league games that mean something to people.
Football is it's really good for mental health. It's a great thing for young men. As Andy touched upon, there's a real problem with mental health with young men, and what you're giving people is a bit of structure to their weeks. There's guys out there that I had in my team that were lowest of the low, but they were just desperate to get to training, desperate to play on a Saturday, all that kind of stuff, and just being with their mates, a couple of nights training a week, and doing that was in their head what was helping them. Getting to a game on a Saturday was great, but they weren't thinking about the exercise side that was helping them and all that kind of stuff. But there's a lot of guys who can't come to football and their mental health gets bad, and I've seen a bit more of that. But I'm kind of trying to help let guys deal with that and talk about it and stuff like that.
Going to be wonderful. There's no two ways about that. From every aspect of us being able to play the sport we love, but I want to be cautious that we're very aware that people may need our support.
We've got some non-contact stuff coming, and you can only hope that this leads to something. What I would hate to happen is that we start with some non-contact, and then in 5 weeks' time they pull it back again and we go for it. So I think we all need to be careful. Let's get it right and get them into it, because the last thing we need is for this to break down. But when this comes back, it's going to be brilliant, absolutely brilliant. It'll give a big lift. Guys will want the structure in their life again, and the ones that it really meant everything to, they've got their life back.
SAFA, we launched a programme to try and highlight the issues of mental health, and I got David and Ewan involved in that, and we got involved with SAMH, the SAMH. SAMH's role is really to highlight mental health. Their job is to highlight and bring to the fore and create, I think, as it stands for, Scottish Action on Mental Health. So it's to drive the features, hence the reason that they brought in the Sports Charter, which is not just for football, as I said, the SPFL had it, the SFA are involved, but hockey are involved, cricket are involved. There's a lot of different sports. So it's more there, the drivers of highlighting the issue. We've taken part of that with the SAFA, and we put together a plan, an action plan of what we were going to do, which is what was done, getting ambassadors to represent the association. So at the time, that was the whole idea of this, that to make something within the association that we could deal with it as the first point of contact for people.
In terms of the action plan that Andy spoke about, it can be something as little as the logo on programmes or the mention, and then that's enough for somebody to say, what's mental health? That question's just never been asked before, and the stigma gets removed. People then start to feel more freely able to say, I've not had a good day. And in terms of Marrow in it, I've always said that I'll be open-minded to somebody, see if I can share my experience, being then capable of saying, can I speak to you in the quiet? I've got financial, I've got personal relationship, I've got addiction, or I've got low mood, that type of stuff, and then taking the mind away from the actual problem and speaking about it could create a healthier environment for them.
It is hard having the conversation, and the big analogy we used the whole time was that having mental health is having bad mental health is being on a train going in the wrong direction. That's what it is. The hardest thing to do is to ask to get off. But see, once you ask, you then start to say, I can't believe it was this easy. Sometimes you end up back on the train, and that's fine. What we want to do is get off before you get too far.